Happy Gilmore 2, the sequel we didn't know we needed. Man, ready for a wild ride as we dive into the highly anticipated sequel, Happy Gilmore 2. This movie is a laugh-out-loud adventure that brings back the beloved characters and adds a whole new layer of fun. But here's where it gets controversial. The star-studded cast and their incredible performances might just steal the show. It's been over 29 years since the original film took the world by storm, and the legacy of Happy Gilmore has lived on. Despite Adam Sandler's initial reluctance, the sequel finally swung into action, thanks to the persistent efforts of Christopher McDonald, who plays the iconic villain Shooter McGavin. "I've been campaigning for decades to bring this story back to life," McDonald revealed, and his persistence paid off. Happy Gilmore 2 hit Netflix on Friday, and it's packed with legendary cameos that will leave you in awe. From Bad Bunny, who joins the cast as Happy's new caddy, to golf stars like Scotty Scheffler and Justin Thomas. The film is a celebration of talent and comedy. But here's the part most people miss. It's not just about the laughs. The movie explores the journey of an aging sports icon, played by Sandler, who finds his way back to his passion. It's a heartwarming tale that resonates with audiences of all ages. Director Kyle Newacheck, who was just 12 when the original film came out, put in extra effort to ensure the golf scenes felt authentic. With the help of golf experts and camera techniques, he created a sports broadcasting-like experience. "It felt like we were part of a real PGA event," Newacheck said. Tragically, one of the golf experts on set, Dan Baker, passed away in a car accident. His presence is felt throughout the film, and his contribution to making the golf scenes authentic is undeniable. The cast includes a mix of golfing legends and current stars, along with some surprising celebrity cameos. Rappers, chefs, and sports icons all come together to create a unique and entertaining experience. "Every day someone cool would show up, then it was like a dream come true," McDonald shared. The film's legacy is what makes Happy Gilmore 2 so special. It's a tribute to the original's impact and a celebration of its cultural significance. With a budget of $12 million, the original film grossed over $38 million, but its true value lies in its ability to bring joy to audiences of all generations. Julie Bowen, who reprises her role as Virginia Bennett, describes the experience as going home. "It's a sentiment shared by many, as the film brings a sense of nostalgia and a reminder of the power of comedy." So, is Happy Gilmore 2 a worthy sequel? You'll have to watch and decide for yourself. But one thing's for sure, it's a wild ride that will leave you smiling and maybe even a little emotional. What do you think? Is Happy Gilmore 2 a hit or a miss? Let's discuss in the comments and share our thoughts on this highly anticipated sequel. Happy Gilmore 2 review. Adam Sandler's nostalgic Netflix sequel. Get ready for a wild ride with Happy Gilmore 2. This Netflix sequel is a real head-scratcher, but in the best way possible. You might think that revisiting Adam Sandler's iconic 1996 comedy is a must before diving into this long-awaited follow-up. But hold that thought. The movie is packed with so many clips and callbacks to the original that even newcomers will feel right at home. It's like a giant love letter to the fans, with original cast members returning and a constant stream of nostalgia. But here's where it gets controversial. Is it too much of a good thing? With 29 years since the first film, you'd think they'd give us a fresh take, but instead, it feels like a never-ending fan service. It's as if the writers, Sandler and Tim Herlihy, they're saying, "Hey, remember this and this? Yeah, we do too." And this is the part most people miss. Sandler has always been a master of giving his audience what they want, and Happy Gilmore 2 is no exception. It's moronic, witless, and vulgar, just like the fans love it. The story picks up with Happy, played by Sandler himself, in a bit of a slump. He's lost his wife, Virginia, to an accidental golf ball incident, and he's struggling with alcohol and a menial job. But when former golfer John Daly, yes, that John Daly, points out that Happy's only option is to return to golf, things start to look up. Or do they? Happy's first attempt at a comeback is a disaster. But with the help of a support group for alkies, led by the hilarious Ben Stiller, he sobers up and gets back on the course. This time, his competition isn't the infamous Shooter McGavin, played by the brilliant Christopher McDonald, but a new, bizarre group called Maxi Golf, where golfers are surgically enhanced for better swings. Shooter McGavin, of course, makes a glorious return, and the two enemies become allies, fighting it out in its cemetery filled with tombstones of now deceased characters. It's a moment that will have fans cheering. However, the film also has its fair share of misses. It feels lazy at times, especially with Sandler's tendency to cast everyone he's ever worked with. The cameos are thinless, but most feel like a missed opportunity. But there are some real gems too. McDonald brings his A-game, and Bad Bunny surprises everyone with his endearing and hilarious performance as Happy's caddy. Overall, Happy Gilmore 2 is a whiffed shot, but with its constant references and nostalgia, it's a fun ride for fans. So what do you think? Is it a hit or a miss? Let's discuss in the comments. Happy Gilmore 2, Adam Sandler's hilarious golf adventure returns. Happy Gilmore 2, rejoice. Adam Sandler's golfing rebel makes a triumphant return. Movie review. The notorious Sandman of the golf course is back, packed with callbacks, star-studded cameos, and an abundance of fan service that could overwhelm even the most resilient of alligators. On the ice, he was a rugged player who could have benefited from some skating lessons. But on the golf course, Happy Gilmore's powerful slap shot enabled him to achieve awe-inspiring long drives that would have left Mike Austin cursing in frustration. Hockey's loss was undeniably golf's gain, as Gilmore's dominance on the championship tour injected the PGA with a dose of raw rock and roll energy. Not even the fierce punches of Bob Barker could halt Happy's rise to sporting greatness. He secured the gold jacket, won the girl, rescued his grandmother from a grim nursing home, the full package. The end. It's no secret that 1996's Happy Gilmore is revered as a modern comedy masterpiece, or that it was the breakthrough that transformed Adam Sandler from a funny guy on SNL to a bona fide movie star. Chances are you can recite large portions of the film, especially if you're a golf enthusiast of a certain vintage. While Sandler has tackled sequels before, the prospect of reviving the beer-swilling, breast-signing golfing rebel seemed like a distant dream. Only a fairy godmother, or perhaps a streaming service with a highly lucrative deal with Sandler, could make that dream a reality. Nearly 3 decades later, the wish is fulfilled. Happy Gilmore 2 catches us up on what our hero has been up to since we last saw him, which is pretty much what you'd anticipate. Landing massive endorsements, reveling in his legendary status, and raising a family. 4 boisterous sons who inherited their dad's knack for violence and crude humor, and 1 daughter, Sonny Sandler, with his wife, former Pro Tour PR director Virginia Bennett, Julie Bowen. Life was idyllic, until a tragic incident during a game turned everything upside down. Gilmore's life spiraled. He lost everything and became a heavy drinker, crafting flasks from anything he could find, from cucumbers to cuckoo clocks. He was happy in name only. Thankfully, Gilmore seeks help in rehab. It's a bit ironic that his rehab group is run by the same sleazeball who once controlled Grandma's assisted living facility. Hello, Ben Stiller. Determined to reclaim his former glory, Happy eventually overcomes the trauma linked to the sport that once made him a king and starts swinging clubs again. Things begin to look up. Editor's picks. But here's where it gets controversial. Enter Frank Manatee, Benny Safdie, a character who seems like he stepped right out of the curse. As a kid, he was inspired by Gilmore's chaotic energy in golf. Manatee starts a rival league called Maxi, which is a bizarre blend of American Gladiator, the original XFL, and a Four Loko-induced hangover. He wants Gilmore to join, but Happy's response is to toss him into a grocery store's lobster tank. That's Gilmore's polite way of saying, no thanks. Regardless, Maxi grows so popular that it threatens the very existence of the PGA. Happy must assemble a team of current golfing stars to take on the various hyped-up players, including a surgically enhanced powerhouse, Haley Joel Osment. Even Shooter McGavin, Christopher McDonald, who's been institutionalized since losing his mind after Gilmore's victory years ago, joins the fray. Trending stories. That's the plot. But this is the part most people miss. It's essentially a vehicle for Sandler and his longtime collaborator, Tim Herlihy, to revisit classic gags, incorporate deep-cut references to the original, and feature a plethora of celebrity cameos. As usual, nearly every member of the Sandler family makes an appearance, along with the comedian's long-standing friends and colleagues. The soundtrack is a blend of classic rock and iconic jock jams. Everyone was eager to see the Sandman Hoosie and his iconic character's worst behavior, and even with a touch of sentimental dad schmaltz,
The Gilmore Goes Wild act remains effective. Special appearances like Jack Nicklaus making an Arnold Palmer Draknamine show to Travis Kelce, Bad Bunny catching a speeding baseball in his mouth, Steve Buscemi urinating into a mailbox, Mark Qualley doing the splits in a sand trap, and Eminem being attacked by crazed swamp creatures are just the cherry on top.